Big repo on the real.
I said 69 was 19 Wheeler Steel Avenues, you know. And see, on 84th, that's Teddy Bear Street. At the corner, Raymond Washington's stepfather lived, right next door to Teddy Bear.
There's a lot of legends in this area, huh?
This is the area, yeah.
I'm Bonnie Williams, the ex-wife of Stanley Tookie Williams, the founder of the sister group to the Crips called the Criplets.
Kev Mac videos, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac videos, open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby.
Me and the homies, back in the day, sitting right here, 1967, I'm 17. Okay, I'm 70 now. 67, I'm 17, and I'm sitting right here. Donnie Boy, Cricket, that's Bunch of Carter's baby brother, Cricket. God bless him, he's gone. On the other side, Teddy Bear. So you got Donnie Boy, Teddy Bear, Cricket, and myself. We sitting here in the evening, drinking Panther Piss, okay, and smoking weed. Panther Piss was either Panther Piss or Bitter Dog. That's what we called it. And we all 17 except Bear. Bear was 18, a year older than us. What we need to call ourselves something. What we go call ourselves? And we kicked around a couple of names. And at that time, you see that light pole wasn't there. It was just a light pole with the dome on top. You know what I mean? Just concrete, about 8 feet high. And I said, damn, there it is there. That sign at that time said Hooper Avenue. We got new signs up now. It says 82nd Street. But back in the day, it said Hooper Avenue. I said, there it is there, Hooper Avenues. We the Avenues.
I made this comment to somebody. We were debating about when the Criplets came on the scene, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't stay out there because I became a mom, but I birthed it.
The United States entered its 12th year in the Vietnam War under President Nixon in 1972. Unknowingly or uncaringly, the tragedy of its own was about to take place here at home in the city of Los Angeles.
What was going on in the 1970s on Crenshaw Boulevard? Was that an established cruising spot yet? Or
nah, not yet. I mean, you had to walk by Crenshaw High, you know, after school, because that's where all the buses come. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite car is the car my dad gave me, the 68 Camaro. It just got a lot of history to it. You know, making it go faster than they ever did, my godpops or my dad and them. So it was connected differently. But I love that car shit, man. I love it. I love it. I love what I like the most about it, Kev, cause is like, we could take the same car. Like, it don't got to be something you got to have credit to go to a lot to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could both take an 87 Colors and everybody could get one of them, but whoever paid, you know, the most attention to details, that shit is going to be the best one. So I like the fact that, you know, that culture in the streets that we grew up with, that shit is for everybody. And whoever pay attention the most, like, it's people who spend way more money and their car ain't faster, you know, or their car ain't nicer. It's just who knows what they doing, who gonna pay attention to the detail, who gonna make sure everything match, you know, make sure the doors is lined up. Just simple work and time. I like that the most.
The Crenshaw, as far as cruising and all that, that didn't really start popping until like the 80s.
Let me tell a story about the time in the 80s. First going back into the history that made it. Crenshaw Boulevard, named after George Crenshaw. White man, real estate is what paid him. In the early days, started as a small gathering for the weekend, taking out your lady. Smoking on the herb and the oldies always playing. Making out with honey as you try to get a naked. Years go by, now a different time. Riding low riders, 100 spokes going around. Now it's Sunday rendezvous. Welcome to the 80s where the crack rock hit and the game shoot you down. Crenshaw Boulevard, Crenshaw now. Crenshaw Boulevard, Crenshaw now. Crenshaw Boulevard, Crenshaw now. The marathon marathon continues, niggas gotta hold it down.
What I want to say is, you know, in this day and time where everything is seem like it's against us, it really don't have to be against us. You know, I'm 57 years old now, and I've learned a lot through my years. And I learned that, you know, hey, we ain't got to be out here killing each other. I do know that.
She's a rapper, man. She's a rapper.
I'm a gangster crip. I ain't no rapper.
Gangster crip.
It wasn't until an incident involving members of the West Side Crips that the gang became widely known. It is also a fact that black exploitation movies had a strong influence on black gangs of Los Angeles. Movies such as Sweetback, Shaft, Superfly, The Godfather, Black Caesar, The Mac, and Peter Weestraw, just to name a few. We even got a homie that goes by the moniker Charleston Blue.
He used to slap cats around all the time. Slapped me one time, right? And
who slapped you?
Dookie.
And what you do?
I didn't do shit.
From the time we met, it was like that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, because he was a cupcake. Yeah, that was it. From the time we met, like when I read his book, I'm like, when did you do all that?
We had a good time, dude. I had a good time growing up.
Hit your Oak Street. Hit your Oak Street, y'all. Hit your Oak. Hit your Oak.
I grew up around good parent, good loving. Went to school, I didn't want for nothing. But I grew up around when the gang thing was being built, was flourishing. It was populating.
You know, and it ain't always been about gang banging and all. Cause see, I hustled a lot over this month. Man, I was carving bread and carving fish. We talking about all our history. And I ain't gonna lie about it. I ain't gonna lie and sugarcoat it or nothing. Nigga, I'm a real crip. I'm still out here. God damn.
But you gotta know how to explain.
Okay, well, you want me to be nice? I'll come over there. Hold on, the river's on the way. What you want to say? I'll do it for you.
Hey, that's why I don't drink early in the morning, man. With all this.
See what I deal with.
See, all that talk about Roy, Zang, and all them. All that talk about them is all good. But my brother was right there on the side of Roy whenever Roy got in trouble.
See, back then, you had to get initiated. You had to walk through a line to get put on. I didn't. I chose on mama.
Frog said one thing that was about me that was true. Frog said that I was always trying to be a peacemaker. You understand me? I didn't want to see, because it was life over there. I wasn't gonna let nobody stop me from getting what I needed in life. So if me and Frog had an issue, I can't remember, but the bottom line to it is this: if we ever had an issue, nigga, and you had to go to Centennial, you wasn't gonna make it fucking with me. And that's on the real. Because nigga, you had to come through my house to get where you wanted to go. You had to come over here to go swimming. I allowed you to do that. See what I'm saying? So whatever his issue was, he didn't say nothing bad about me, but if we had a squad before, I would know about it. I ain't gonna say he lying, because I done had many. I done had my ass whooped in the project, and I had my ass whooped in the Imperial Court. But that's why I tell you, Renee, you can't tell me shit about Renee now. Mm-hmm. Because that nigga man pulled about 15 motherfuckers off me. And you see this right here, I'm not fucked up. But he pulled about 15 niggas off me behind his brother Gary. And I got Gary up there on Wilmington. And I showed him who the fuck I was. You understand me? So it's nothing bad about now one of them. But they took from me and I took back.
Q102 came from the radio station that we had called Q102. After the riot started, our hood became Q102.
Before the U.S., we were the young survivors. We're out of Roosevelt Elementary School, and we used to go downtown. We had our our Levi jackets. We go downtown Compton to Exums, to Charleston's. You know, Charleston's had the cool hookup stuff. And we go downtown Compton and have and take our Levi jackets and have them stenciled with these thick letters, say "Young Survivors." We, you know, it was more of a club than a gang. But we knew that we meant something because in those days, in Compton, there was this sort of kind of revolution going on. You know, we had the Panthers over here. We had in a school where we were taught Black history. We kind of knew our enemies, but we didn't know our enemies. Everybody told me, you know, I was going to Tracy. Back in school, first everybody was shocked because of my age. Man, you going to Tracy? Yeah, man. Woo. So I'm listening to everything. You know, I'm listening to everybody. You know. I get to Tracy, and they locked me up. They said because of my age, they locked me up for a 90-day op. I don't go to the main line. For 90 days, I'm up in a hole. The first morning, I'm woke up by a bomb. A bomb wake me up.
A bomb?
A bomb.
Somebody threw a bomb in your cell?
Not in my cell, but someone threw a bomb in somebody's cell. Political, not knowing we were political, but we knew that we were survivors of slavery. We knew we were survivors of the diaspora. And it was just something that was DNA'd in us. And so we were the young survivors, you know, we were the club at Compton, at Roosevelt Junior High School. We had a lot of people with us because we was all loving each other. So then one day, we had school and the word got out. Hey man, what happened to Durrell Sharp? Nah man, what happened to Durrell Sharp? Hey man, he went to the Rivoli Theater and white boy grabbed him and choked his ass out and said, go to sleep, nigga. And put him to sleep. And we had never heard no shit like that, but everybody was mad. That shit permeated from Roosevelt to Dominguez High School. And by that Saturday, we all caught buses to the Rivoli Theater in Long Beach, 50 Long Beach Boulevard.
Nigga, you might have had all these, but I had motivation that motherfucker.
What do you think I am? Do I gotta say it? We had to do something. So we voted to have the Vanguard exist to fill that void right there. Right. That's why that happened. That's why the Vanguard was created.
You see, when I left the street, there wasn't no Crips. Okay? Yeah, when I left the street, if it were, they were this big.
Well, what year did you go to the pen?
I got arrested in 70.
When I first get to the penitentiary, the main gangs that run the penitentiary was the BGF, was the Black Guerrilla Family, the Am Brotherhood, the ABs, the Northern Mexicans, the Norteños, and the Southern Mexicans, the Southsiders.
But it was something that we had to come together to keep control of the main line. Because they saying...
Back then, they was putting the youngsters up under that paperwork. You know, when a youngster come up in there, the BGF was like, and once they read it, they tell them they're in, you know. Like when I went, they slid it up, I tore it up and put it in the toilet. But everybody knew I was already on my way. You know what I'm saying? Doug, like I said, Dinosaur, my brother had pint, he was already there. So when I got there, they shipped my brother on the bus going to Solid Dead. He like, man, I was programming, man, you know. And so they was like, hey, man, and I became the sergeant at arms. I'm the one that was like, you know, kept knives this long up in the cell, you know. They'd come to me here, man, you know, and I'm like, man, what was, and they explained it to me. I'm like, but I already got off into it in the county jail before I hit there, you know, so they was on me.
Bitter Dog Bruno was my road dog.
the brothers that went to jail and murdered, sucking them up for gain activity. The ones that a chosen few that became BGL.
Muncie Carter, you know, the Black Panther who got killed at UCLA. He lived down that street. Okay?
So let me ask you something. Kenny Carter and Hawthorne, they were avenues?
Yes, they were avenues.
Did they ever convert over to Crips?
I was gone.
Man, Compton was so cool, man. We like at school we get these index cards about all the parties. We have stacks of index cards where, Hank's house, when, Saturday, how long, until, and woo. And we all had those, and we like go to party to party to party. We start from the west side of Compton, end up on the east side. It was all cool, man. No problems.
The date was June the 10th, 1972, when Lionel Campbell, better known as Skip, was killed.
He was standing on the corner 87th and Bandera, and I told him, I said, hey, don't forget we're going to church with Mama tomorrow. He said, I'll be there. But me and my girlfriend crossed Firestone over to Home Street, and we heard a pow. It was in June. She thought it was a firecracker, but I was a gun person, so I knew the difference between firecrackers and gunshots. So I ran back, and I could see Skip running by the vacant lot, running wide-legged, and I ran to him. He collapsed right in front of me. I got there, and I held him, and I sit up there and watch my best friend dying. Yeah, he was killed in cold blood. They had pulled on the side of Skip, and they asked him where was the party at. He pointed out direction. They couldn't find it. Came back, called him a liar, jumped out the car on him. He started fighting two guys and was winning. And one of them cowardly pulled out a .22 and shot him in the throat.
Well, you know, Gompers used to have on Friday nights dance night, just like Sportsman Park. At the Gompers, Sportsman Park had the little hip hop where we can go on Friday nights and party. Yes, that's true.
We was having a party. It was in 72, the summer of 72. No, the end of school year of 72. It was at the last graduation party. And we in there partying with our girls, slow dancing, everything, and it was all gravy, baby. And then all of a sudden, in one dreadful day, these brothers rolled up, and man, they had on these brims. They called them baby brims. Today, I think you guys call them as brims. And they stepped there. They like all their cars was lined up, and they came out gangster style. And we was all separate. We, you know, the young survivors wasn't like, hey, these are enemies or nothing. We didn't even know. We was caught by surprise. And they started like jacking niggas and whoop the whoop. Man, I seen the biggest, baddest niggas in Compton jumping out of windows and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was a disgrace.
Anyway, they wanted us to tuck our rag. So I fired on Suja. Man, fuck you. They said, man, nobody could talk to you, Grebo. Grebo, you got it. My real name, Grebo. So if you hear him say Grebo, then you know you're going all the way back. See? On the real. So I fired on him. And when I fired on Suja, man, fuck, we ain't talking nothing, cuz. So we all walked the way. We go in our cells. Back then in Trinidad, we had cells, had keys. So I come out the next day and they rushed me. 3 of them rushed me to BGL and cut me up. And fucked me up. I got fucked up. Went to the hospital, came back. Shit. And it was on and cracking. Every time I hit the yard, I was stick.
Oh my God, I didn't know it was so much. I'm like, I haven't even got out the projects yet.
I'm gonna get this nigga too.
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, right on the spot.
It's good, man. For sure.
What's happening, man?
Excited, chilling, man.
That's right.
Niggas going projects, man. Out here getting it in.
I didn't go to no Blood Hood. I still don't go to Blood Hood. I don't go to. I went to Blood Hood one time. Fucked around, got fucked y'all. Me and Bruno.
Well, I hung out in all areas, Bloods and Crips.
We go to Nicholson Gardens and we see some females And Bruno said, come on, man, let's go over here. So I go over there with Bruno. I see some girls going in the store by Nicholson's door, and I'm like, hey, girl. I'm like, come on, cuz. And I said the word cuz. We went up in that motherfucker. We had to run up out of there.
George Jackson, perhaps the single most feared man in the United States prison system, spent 10 years in prison and 7 of them in solitary confinement for stealing $7.20 in a gas station robbery.
You got to still, I'm 62. It wasn't no camera. Man, I got so many robberies under my belt. Excuse me.
That's all right. You were young back then.
Do not say that. Still on parole. Still on parole.
So how much time have you done in prison?
Altogether 36 years.
My oldest brother he caught a murder when I was a little girl. And back then, they did, like for murder, he got 7 to life. He did his 7 years, paroled, and he never went back. I remember going to what I thought was probably another state.
Was the BGF active when you was in there?
Oh yeah, they wanted us to tuck our rag. That's when they come to slice me up, and I told them I wasn't gonna do it. Well, we had our rags hanging everywhere, and the police. It wasn't like it is today, where you don't have none of that. You got to remember, we're going back now, so we can have blue rags. Our family could bring us food, whatever we want, on visits. You can get contact visits, meaning you can go out there if you're married. You can go out there to a trailer every 4 months and have sex with your woman for 2-3 days.
I think he was in Chino during that time. And we would go on Sundays, and I thought it was a picnic.
I was going to football practice at Gonzales Park over here by the fire station. So I'm rolling, they pulled me over in the Blue Nova. Icky Dawson jumped up. What's up, Ganado? You over there with them crabs? Bobby Jones, Bobby Lloyd, Kenny Bryant, and Bobby Preston. So they kicked my bike. Icky Dawson kicked my bike. And Buddy Powell tried to hit me. And then Kenny Bryant said, no, let Ganado alone. He cool. He ain't no crab. But they bust me up and broke my bike. So they let me go. I picked my bike up, put it on my shoulder like this, and I walked all the way over there from by Benjamin O. Davis with my bike on my head, all the way to the village. Threw my bike down. Mom said, what's wrong with you, boy? Left, went straight to the Grandies. With Max Salties, King Rat, Honcho, all of them was up there. And they see me fucked up. What happened, Ganado? I told them they jumped on me. Shit. When they jumped on me after that, me and Salty and Movie Star went and rolled on them in their mama's car. I got on the bike and they parked around the corner and I blast. Come back. I've been banging ever since, my nigga. Hard than a motherfucker.
If ever there is a Crips Crip, no flair, no gimmicks, no additives, no preservatives, all fucking natural. It's fucking Reborn. Look, man, look. Let me tell you how bold, how honest, how serious he is. Like I was talking earlier about fanatics, true believers. We in the Crip module, this fanatical ass 4-tier module. Four people in the top tiers cells. There's 18 cells on the top tier, 18 cells on the bottom, or something like that, 12 cells. 4 men on the top, 4 on the bottom. All young 18-year-old, 19-year-old. At this time, this is 84, I was 21. I was 20 turned 21. I got out that year. I got out in 84. I got out of Hawaii in 1984. And I got to shoot out with Lil Fee. And that case that he's in jail already been committed already. I believe we had to shoot out. He ended up getting captured with a strap. I ended up getting captured for that shootout because 3 people got shot. So I ended up in the module. So I'm in the module with Big Eddie Boy, Lil Fee, Big Snoop, Fred Hill. It was Gang 60s there, right? It was like about. It was enough of to be a menace. I say 12 or 14. So they was there. And a horse was there. Fees criming. There was a little cat named Gator there. And little Gator, it was all gang writing in the cell, so I came up with a marker. And I told, and Gator, well, he was younger than me, but it wasn't nobody said tripping or nothing. And he said, hey, Monster, let me use that marker, man. I said, man, don't fuck my marker up, Gator. I said, you fuck my marker up, I'm gonna knock you out. And everybody started laughing, they thought I was playing. And I kind of was, but I said it, and then I you know, at that age, you can't pull nothing back. So anyway, he takes my marker, and he breaks it open, and strikes up all on his wall. So at chow that next day, and he gives it back, it's dry. So we walking down the tier, and I turn around and I get off on him, boom! And I knock him down. But he don't go out, but he don't want to get back up. So the next day, they bring Lil Fee back from High Power. Now he charged with the 4 murders. Now he didn't say with Big Crazy Pope and Rebo and some other cat. So when I walk by going to showers, Lil Fee said, hey cuz, what's this about you knocking out my little homie? So I look at Lil Fee, man, this motherfucker is just like a fucking reptile. I mean, that's the only way I can describe him. Even then, before I had the articulation to describe him as a reptile, the dude looks like a cold-ass reptile. I mean, like, and I mean that in an evil, I'm not in a put-down way. I mean, he just looks like, I mean, like, in a minute he's gonna go like this. I mean, his eyes are cold in his expression. And he had them light-colored eyes. He had that pointy nose. I said, this motherfucker is fucking reptile. It was crazy, right? So anyway, I said, look, I said, hey, homie, this is 84. I said, hey, I did all the riding I'm gonna do on your hood. I ain't even tripping on that. So his little piece said, yeah, I did some riding too. So then Rebo stepped up. He in the cell with Lil Fee. And Lil Fee looking at me, I'm looking at him. And Rebo get inside Lil Fee's head and say, right in his set out his head, he said, what that A-Tray gangsta like? He said, got right in my face, but I'm on the other side of the bar. And he say, what that rolling 60 like? You motherfuckers just tripping, cuz. He went on a cold crip thing on us, right? And it was pride holding us up, like we didn't want to look at each other, but that shit was hitting us, that fool Rebo. So that's when I first really started taking notice of it. That this dude is like a fucking wild ass southern preacher with this shit. This dude is a crip.
A.C. Moses, better known as King Baba Louie, 18 of Compton, was savagely beaten with clubs and chains. He was taken to Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital where his condition was listed only as fair. After this bloody confrontation, the friendship abruptly ended. This opened doors for the smaller gang to link up with other independent gangs in and around the city of Compton.
Park Village is the first Samoan Crips ever was in Park Village Crip. When I first heard about the Crips, I was playing football. I heard about them from the east side, but I wasn't paying attention to them. Because I was playing football. I was an athlete. Slam dunk on your ass. On the real. A beast. Big repo. On the real.
But let me tell you when the first time I met Raymond Washington. Listen to this. This is historical shit right here, homie. All bullshit aside. By this time, in me and Tookie's relationship, I had started carrying a gun. But Tookie's driver, a cat named T-Bone from the west side, lived on 92nd, had a pearl white 68 Chevy on Kragers. That motherfucker was tight. No hydraulics, it just was fucking sitting on fucking 20 Kragers. Pearl white with the bullets. Pearl white. That was Tookie's driver. So on Sundays, we banked the Centennial Park, but I carried a gun. So it'd be him driving, Took, and me in the back with the burner, big ass Police 38. I had already had 2 bodies by this time. But this day, we go sit in the park, and Raymond's there. So everybody's gathering around Raymond. I'm just in the cut like I'm supposed to be with the burner. Looking tough as shit. I know I'm gonna miss everything I shoot at. I ain't been to shooting range or nothing. I just got adrenaline and calm. I'm ready to aim at the motherfucker with adrenaline and calm. But that day, Raymond needs a ride back. And so Took said, hell yeah. So I jump in the back as usual. So Tookie's next to me. Raymond's in the front, T-Bone's driving. All the windows down. Sunday afternoon, coming back from Inglewood on Manchester. T-Bone got an 8-track tape of the new song that just came out by the Commodores called Zoom. And Raymond's stuck on it. He keeps clicking that motherfucker to the same song, but he's singing at the top of his voice. Oh, Zoom, I like to fly far away from here, where my mind. And he's singing at the top of his voice, but that shit is infectious. So we all just like this, right? That shit is fucking cool. We just like, this is the top of crypto. This is the fucking top, right? And I'm like fucking 12. And this shit is fucking blowing my mind, but I'm like, this is fucking crippling right here. All the way back. So we heard all the way back. So when we get back, I go in the backyard and grab my bike. I got a BMX. When I come out, Took say, hey, Raymond, you hungry? Raymond said, hell yeah. So Took broke out a couple dollars. He didn't ask me if I wanted shit. I had been carrying a gun all day. But I was like, fuck, I'm hungry as a motherfucker, right? I didn't want to say that. I couldn't say it. So he looked at me and said, hey, Cody, go up to Vivian's and give me a fish sandwich. What you want, Raymond? Raymond said, give me an egg sandwich. So I got him an egg sandwich. I got the money. I pushed on my bike, but I was mad as a motherfucker because I was hungry and shit. So I go up there. When I get Raymond shit, they had cut it in half like a triangle. Man, I opened one piece of bread, stole the egg. I ate it. Put the sandwich back, folded it back up and shit, packed it back, put it back, and I bailed back down there. Egg all on my face. I didn't even know. Pushed up, hook slide, jumped off, gave him the shit. Like 2 minutes later, Raymond said, hey, Took, hey, cuz, this motherfucker ain't got no egg in it, cuz. Took said, man, what? Looked over there. Took said, he looked right at me. I got egg and shit. He knew I did that shit, but he spared me. He looked at me. He said, let's go. Boom. They marched up to fucking Vivian's, Took and Raymond, and jumped over the counter, took everything they had. From fucking spoons to salt and pepper. Fucking jalapenos, everything. Put that shit in big ass bags and walked down the street with it. I felt so bad for the Asian people. But I was so happy because they ate so well that day. But later on, Tookie told me. He said, motherfucker, I know you did it. I said, I ain't do nothing, man. He knew I did. That's when I first met Raymond. I mean, yeah, I'm not proud that I stole the egg out of the sandwich, but I was hungry. I was being a valiant soldier all day. I ain't break no oaths. I ain't break no laws. I stole the founder's egg.
So when you joined
later on, I paid back in bodies and desolation, crying.